Hey traders, I know you want to know where to get in on Tesla in its recent pullback. I'm going to show you not only that, but also how to set up your conditional orders with the ThinkorSwim platform so that you never miss another trade. Does that sound like a good deal? Well, check out this video all the way through the end. I'll show you precise levels I'm interested in Tesla and exactly how I'll set up my trade. Let's jump into it right now. Okay, if you've been following the shorts we've been putting out, and also the some of the other videos talking about Tesla. Tesla came out on our watch this week, our watch list this week, the AutoPilot trading top 5 pre-flight checklist. I gave specifics about where to get in. And as the stock is pulling back, I can now be more precise on where I want to get into the trade. Let's take a look first at the weekly chart over here, and we'll digest exactly where we may want to be getting into a trade. As you can see, price action is starting to pull back. There is a breakout area right here at the 217.65 level. Does that correspond with anything that we may want to be interested in? One, we have the downtrend line approaching that level. So that gives us one confluence of clues that price action could come back to the trend line and kiss it goodbye and take off. But is there anything that maybe a little bit stronger convergence of clues? And the answer to that is yes, there is. Throw on a Fibonacci from the high to the low. This is a Fibonacci retracement. And you can see right there with the red line, that is sitting at $214.68, $214.68. And so based on that, I can now draw in my MagicFIB box. And what the MagicFIB box is just basically the 38 to the 618 retracement area, including the 50-day moving, 50% retracement. Get rid of the Fibonacci so it clears it out of the way. Let's drop over here to the daily chart now. And anytime the price gets down in that zone, this MagicFIB box, I want to be highlighted. I like the price at $215. So I'm going to use that as my trigger to get into this trade. So I want to know 6 different things. I want to identify the price, where the price is likely to bounce. I've done that. 2, I want to identify my risk. And if I get it to 215 level and it goes out the bottom of the Fibonacci, let's see how far that will be. Okay, it's about 6%. It's a little bit more than I want to go because typically my catastrophic stop loss would be at 5%. And so in this particular case, I'm going to go ahead with a catastrophic loss of 5%. Or about 4%. I'll look here to the left to see if there's a slight little gap up, as you can see right there. And so I can put in my stop loss is going to be at 206.64. My entry is at 215. And then my profit targets will be at 10%, 20%, and then I'll hold 20% of my shares moving on and up from there, but we'll get into that here shortly. So with that identified, now I can go about building my trade, and I'll do that over on the ThinkorSwim platform. Okay, before we get over to the ThinkorSwim platform, you know what else I need to do? Is I need to size my position. Again, as you see, okay, here's my position calculator. I use this to size, and right now I'm showing that I'm dealing with $100,000 in capital. That does not include margin. I can do up to 4 positions. That's my rules. And so that means a full position will be $25,000. I want to get into Tesla at 215. There's my stop loss on Tesla will be 206.64. The thing I need to do is adjust the number of shares to bring that up to close to 2,500. So that's going to be about, I'm going to say 115 shares. 115 shares. And as long as I do not go over $25,000, I'm just going to be slightly less than that because I can bounce it up to 120. And you'll see that's over 25,000. I'm not going to go there. So we're just going to go with 115. And over here, it shows me my shares and how I back out the shares. So 115 shares. And the simple way to round this up is just take the first one, make it 36, then 57 for the next, and 23 for the next. And so I need a 30, not 36, but 35, 57, and 23. Now, with this, I can go over to my ThinkorSwim platform and start building my trade. I pop up into the trade account and I go to build this position on Tesla. I'll show you where that started. It started basically just right click here on Ask. The order sheet pops up, go to the little gear, click on the gear. Now I'm going to buy 215 shares. I'm not going to buy at a limit. I'm going to buy at a market order. You're kind of like, well, Dennis, why are you doing that? Well, I'm going to place here a good till cancel. But since it's a fire and forget, I don't want to just have that out there. So I typically let it close out on the Friday that's coming up. And so this Friday is the 30th. Make that after the market is closed. And that way I do not get stuck with an order that's just hanging out there that could fill and I wouldn't be expecting it. So it automatically closes itself. Where do I want to get in? Remember, I want to get in at less than or equal to $215. Yeah, I always go back and just double check against the, and there we go, 115 shares. I need to modify that. Yeah, 115. So that's ready to go. Save. It takes me back here. Remember, I plugged in here, first triggers all. Now I build my orders to get out of this trade, which will include my stop loss, this is really slick. I do a create opposite order. Click on this. Now I start modifying and saying, okay, on my first order, I want to exit, that's 10%, profit 10%. I want to exit out of 35 shares. I remove the cancel date on there because if I'm filled, I want the sell orders to stay in effect until they fill. What's my first profit target? My first profit target is going to be 236.50. I can now also throw in my stop loss right in the same order. There it is. And my stop loss is out at 206.64. That takes care of that one. Save. Right click. Duplicate. Right click. Duplicate. Go to the middle one. This is my order where I will sell 57 shares. The only thing I have to do is change is the price that I want to get out at. And on this particular case, I want to get at 268.75. My stop loss remains the same, 206.64. Save that. I notice something I need to make a modification on right there. I need to modify that to my 236.50. That is my profit, my 10% profit target. And then the very last one is just simply, I modify the number of shares, which is 23. The only thing I have to do on this one is just remove my profit target. And all this serves is a stop loss on the initial trade. Save, confirm. I just read this back and it looks okay. Send. And bingo, bango, it is ready. That order will cancel itself out on Friday after the market if it is not filled. And if it is filled and we're protected to the downside by 3.5%. So you may ask the question, what happens if it gaps down against you? What do? What happens? Well, if it gaps below the stop loss, it will fill immediately and immediately stop itself out. So the slippage is very small. If you like this trading tip, let me know, leave a comment, and share this with other traders. So until next time, I'll just say aloha and Tesla, watch out because we're coming to get you. Aloha.